One. Hello, my name's Evan Kaiser,
I'm Alyssa Hyduke.
I'm Riley Olson.
I'm Emma Berthold.
and we are Group 5, and we'll be giving you a synopsis and overview of how our simulation went. So to begin, we're going to go over a timeline of the years. First, in year 11, our original plan was to be a focus differentiator. And in this, we were going to focus on primarily targeting the United States and providing a high-quality product at a premium price. And for us, this was a learning curve, and as we found out over time, that this probably wasn't going to work. In year 12, as I mentioned, we quickly found out that this was not going to work for us, and so we had to come up with a new strategy. And in order to do this, we took our numbers that will be talked about a little later in this presentation, and we became a low-cost provider. So we completely flipped the script. Instead of premium products at high quality, we produced more substitutable goods at lower quality and lower cost. Year 13 was our hardest financial year for us as we made this big transition from premium to low cost. We faced rough financial situations, but we were in the process of turning around our business strategy. Year 14, we saw that this low cost strategy was really going to work. And by year 15, we continued the low cost strategy, and we really saw how well this strategy is going to work. Now I'm going to pass it off to Riley to go over year 11's financial statements.
All right, year 11. So our stock price ended at $21.21. And then we're going to look at a couple other benchmarks here. And so our return on equity ended at 17.5 for year 11. So we thought that was a good base. But like Evan had mentioned, this was definitely a learning curve. And so like on the bottom of the screen, you can see how we dipped a little bit, but we came back up. And so our earning per share was also at 2. And so again, like Evan mentioned, we want to be a low cost, or we want to be a focused differentiator in the beginning. And we wanted to target the US market in particular. And so just looking at some stuff here, you can see that our wholesale was higher than our private label, and our private label was at 0. And so that was a big red flag for us. And so we knew that we needed to change things. And so you'll see in year 12 how things changed.
So now for year 12, this year we figured out that our current strategy wasn't working out for us. So as you can see, the stock price did decline from year 11 just by a few dollars. And the ROE is at 16.9, which is a slight decline from the past year, but that's not something that we necessarily stressed about. The EPS did increase to 2.28, helping our standings a little bit. And as an increase in the net profit helps the company as a whole. You can see that here. And so now being a low-cost provider, we took out all the private label segments, as you can see in the third row. And then with that, we did buy land in Latin America and Africa, and that was kind of the transition of really diving into that low-cost provider position. So now in year 13, Alyssa's going to describe that a little bit more.
So as you can see in year 13, we did take quite a hit as our stock price ended at -$7. After buying the land in year 12, we didn't have enough capital to buy equipment, so therefore we didn't have much to produce, and in turn that is one of the reasons why our numbers took such a hit. So we had to wait until this year to then buy more equipment to start producing shoes in Latin America and Europe, and as you can see, our return on equity took quite the hit as it ended at $4.70, and our EPS also took quite a hit as it ended at 71 cents, and our net profit was only 13,177. So this is really the worst that we saw, as we were right in the eye of the storm of changing between differentiation and a low cost strategy. So next we'll look at year 14. In year 14, you can see that we took quite a jump in our stock price, as again, last year was at -$7, and this year we end at a positive $29.85, as well as our return on equity ending at $19.70, taking quite a jump from the previous $4.70, and also our EPS rose to $3.28. We saw that jump as we did previously reduce production in North America. And now that our plants were up and running in Latin America and Europe from the equipment we purchased last year, we then saw our low cost strategy beginning to work as we now were able to produce more shoes at a lower cost. And with that low cost strategy, we were also able to use a lower graded materials, also reducing our costs and seeing an increase in our net profit to 61.29. So now we will jump into the final year, which is when we really started to see our low cost strategy take off as our stock price jumped to 167.44, and with that also our return on equity reached a company high of $34.10, and also our earnings per share as well reached a company high at $7.57. As you can see, both of those were close to doubling, and that we give credibility to that. Some of it came from the reduction of monetary losses from the exchange rates as we saw in the previous year, and as well as now that our production was up and running in Latin America and Europe, Africa, as from year 14 to year 15, we're able to increase the amount of shoes we produce, which thus led to more being sold and then an increase in profits. As you can see that our net profits jumped from 129 to 296. And next, I will hand it off to Evan to wrap it up with some recommendations and what we would have planned to do in the
Thank you, Duke. So future plans, as we mentioned, we're definitely going to continue our low-cost strategy because we just began to see the high rise that we had the opportunity for. Starting to move more on that, we're going to start moving more production out of the U.S. because we found it cheaper to build or produce shoes and manufacture these shoes in Europe and Africa and Latin America. So we're going to move more production equipment and save our money from the U.S. and move those towards those two nations. As I mentioned, we're going to be expanding more into U.S. or the Europe and Africa market. And then lastly, we're going to begin producing more shoes in Latin America. And by these two goals at the end, will definitely continue to help us achieve our low-cost strategy and continue rising to the top. Thank you.